Captain's log. Stardate 87318.7. Just under a month ago, Alliance Command dispatched two ships, the USS Temeraire and the USS Chimera, to search for the Krenim Imperium. We were successful in finding what remained of them, and discovered that they had escaped the Vardwa hunting them by displacing themselves in time, rendering themselves invisible to anyone not displaced as well. The war, even then, was going badly, and their temporal manipulation technology seemed like the answer we had been looking for. But just days after that, the Iconians' attacks increased, and it became clear that we didn't have time to wait for the development of the so-called timeship they had planned, and it was decided that a direct approach was necessary. And so, with the combined fleets of the Alliance powers, we attacked their primary sphere, from which their gateway network was maintained. Barely an hour after the Vanguard attacked, it became clear that we had woefully underestimated the Herald fleet protecting the sphere, and, in a last desperate effort to swing the battle in our favor, a few ships, including ours, followed a disabled Iconian flagship retreating through a gateway into the sphere. We boarded the ship and actually managed to fatally wound one of the Iconians. But, with her last breath, Matara summoned two of her sister Iconians, and we were forced to retreat. And, as we exited the sphere, we found a starship graveyard. We rescued what survivors we could, and then retreated with all haste through the Durette system gateway and back to command at the Kiana system, where we found the handful of damaged vessels that had survived the battle. In our desperation, we made a fatal mistake, and traded thousands of Alliance lives for a single Iconian. With hope of winning this war conventionally all but gone, we have been ordered to the Kiana system once again to witness the launch of our last hope. The Kiana System Research Facility once again. Of course, last time I was here, I didn't get to explore much, so I'm actually unfamiliar with this room. I only got a glimpse of it. Last time I was here, it is pretty much just a short introduction to the research they're doing here, and then the briefing, after which, of course, we attacked the Herald Sphere. It looks like there's a researcher waiting to greet me here. Well, that's someone I haven't seen in a while. That's researcher Adriana. We met on New Romulus, when the New Romulus Iconian gateway was first being activated. Of course, that didn't go well. Hopefully this endeavor ends better.
Welcome! We have been working with the Krenim to build both this facility and a weapon similar to the one developed by Annorax in the 22nd century. Captain Nog is running point for the Alliance, but teams from all across the Alpha and Beta quadrants are involved with the research. It's fascinating work, but there's a lot to do yet.
Well, is there anything I can do to help?
Captain Nog might be able to explain more. He's waiting for you.
And by the way, good to see you again, Adriana. How have you been since New Romulus?
It's good to see you too. For a few weeks, I was helping the Alliance research new ways to deactivate Iconian gateways. We were making progress, but it wasn't fast enough to stop the advance of the Heralds. After Captain Nog made contact with the Krenim, I asked to transfer here. Now I'm working with interdimensional resonance harmonics to help recreate Annorax's work.
I recall last time we spoke, you were having trouble sleeping. I hope you're having better luck now.
Yes, I have. I guess the Solanae aren't visiting me at night anymore. Or maybe it's the 14-hour days trying to wrap my brain around complex temporal equations that are wearing me out. Either way, my sleep is greatly improved. Thank you for asking.
Solanae? That's news to me. Of course, it's good to see you again. I'm afraid that because I didn't get much time to explore this facility last time I was here, you'll have to show me where to find Captain Nog. Right, this way to Captain Nog. Ah, I see. Right, as usual, I walk slightly slower than everyone else around here, but jog at regular intervals to keep up. It's simply more energy efficient. And, of course, we're all about efficiency here. I think I see Captain Nog there. Looks like the research is going to tend to something over there. I'll speak to Captain Nog.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make a prototype of the Krenim weapon in Annorax's records, but we have not attempted to use it yet. Time isn't something you mess around with, so we have been conducting simulations here of possible incursions, as well as developing new ways to protect and store data on various timelines.
Right, I do have quite a few questions. Apparently I wasn't briefed very much. Captain Nog, of course, I was briefed several times on this technology, but I failed to see how this is any different from just going back in time, changing something, and creating an alternative timeline.
When we talk about time alteration, we're specifically referring to the Krenim weapon's ability to remove something from time. Anything, from a single molecule to an entire civilization. It's as if the target of the weapon never existed at all.
I think I understand now, Captain. You're saying that, well, no matter how far back we went in time, whatever it was we wanted to change, we couldn't completely remove it from ever existing. You're saying that this weapon can, it just deletes it from the timeline.
Correct. The changes ripple out from the incursion point and result in a new reality where the target no longer exists. This does mean that the ship must be able to fire on a target. The details are a bit more complex, of course, but that's the main difference from conventional time travel.
If this weapon can just remove something from the timeline, then why don't we just go to, say, the Iconian's homeworld and remove that completely?
That was the first simulation we tried. The results were fairly catastrophic.
Catastrophic? I fail to see how.
Without the Iconians, the first development of warp technology by other cultures in the Alpha Quadrant is severely delayed, by about 50,000 years. Removing the Iconians would change everything we know.
I mean, we would eventually develop warp travel, right? Seems inevitable.
Let me put it this way. In one version, the Day Ones eventually rise to power and conquer most of the Beta Quadrant. They are forced back by the Vulcans, who never embrace logic, and later enslave much of what is now Federation and Klingon space.
Right, I'm starting to see your point now.
I'm not done yet. The Herc never developed warp technology at all, so they never invade Kronos and unite the Klingons as a warrior culture. When the Vulcan Star Empire finds the Klingons in the 22nd century, they were mostly farmers who had made some advances in epic poetry. By the present day in this simulation, the Vulcan Star Empire is locked in a to-the-death struggle with the Dominion.
I get it, Captain. You need not go on. Removing the Iconians directly is clearly a bad idea. Also, Captain, I was with Empress Sela, the former Empress Sela, aboard an Iconian Dyson sphere. That's when we discovered the Iconian threat, of course. She said something about Iconians and time travel. I'm not sure if that's important.
Oh, that the Iconians can't time travel because it unravels their minds.
Something like that.
She was being dramatic, but she was essentially correct. When most humanoids time travel, they retain the memories of their timeline of origin. So you realize when things have changed. Iconians are at least partially energy beings. You saw that when Matara was able to use her own power to open gateways. And their brain structure is very different from other humanoids. As far as we understand, if an Iconian traveled back in time, their mind and memories would reshape to fit that time, so they would retain no memories of the present. They don't use time travel because it would literally be taking a step backwards. Once we make an incursion, anything not protected by a temporal shield will conform to the new timeline. That includes all of us once this mission is over. We won't remember the Iconians, the war, or anything that changes in the new timeline. Clouda has been leading the work to create a shielded computer core to hold all the data we currently have. A time capsule, I guess you'd call it.
So even if we change, we could access this shielded computer and we'd be able to know what happened before?
Correct. This isn't the sort of sacrifice we'd expect any personnel involved in the incursion to make. So we've built a computer to retain the information for us. We'll know what happened before, even though it essentially will have happened to someone else.
Understood, I think. Captain, I think that's all the questions I have. Have you made any headway on finding when and where to make a temporal incursion?
We've tried a different number of scenarios, but only in the holodeck. Direct action against the Iconians is proving to be problematic, because so much time has passed since they were first a great power. Incursions that far back in time must be carefully planned, or the fallout of even minor changes can ripple across reality. We have, however, seen some promise in trying to delay their arrival.
Well, isn't that just delaying the inevitable just a few years?
Actually, it would be closer to a 700-year delay if our calculations are correct. The Iconians have had 200,000 years to build their fleets, but we're catching up to them. We've already seen what the 29th century technology can do. Imagine what we'll have in the 32nd century.
So I suppose we'd be on more equal footing.
Exactly. The other potential solution is to cut into their current power base. What if the Iconians never allied with the Alachi or the Solanae? We wouldn't be facing the trouble we do now.
Well, what scenarios that you've tried show promise?
The three most promising incursions each follow one of these tactics. My teams have been running simulations and refining their targets, but I'd like you to assist them using a special quantum recursive algorithm. Our simulators can run the outcome of a possible incursion on the holodeck. Interacting with that simulation will give us more data than just crunching the numbers. We need to really interact with it to see what reality would look like, and for that, I need someone like you with field experience.
Well, as much as I respect the technical work that's being done here, I'm not sure about testing, well, temporal incursions on a holodeck. Holodecks are very advanced, and they're very useful, but they're not perfect. But I suppose simulations can't hurt. Alright, it looks like I'm the guinea pig here to test out their scenarios. Greetings, I'm Captain Blibber Ninja of the USS Temeraire.
Hello. Please allow me to explain what we're doing here. We've determined that if we remove a specific series of stars from the Beta Quadrant in the distant past, a rogue planet will enter the Iconia system and cause massive geological damage at about the same time the planet was bombarded by the Iconians' enemies. The technological buildup of the orbital bombardment that destroyed the Iconian civilization will still happen, but the Iconians themselves will have to deal with a natural disaster, not a war. Maybe the survivors of a natural disaster, if there are any, won't be so vengeful, and none of the stars we will remove have planets with the possibility of developing life. The overall effect on the galaxy is minimal. It's a painful path, but it could be the one that leads to peace.
This seems rather extreme, doesn't it?
The number of stars we will have to remove is a concern, which is why we're trying this in a simulation first. But as Captain Nog said, these simulations aren't perfect, so we have devised a holodeck program that will expand and extrapolate on possible effects of the temporal incursion.
You're putting a lot of faith in a holodeck.
It's the best option we have available to us. The holodeck's algorithms have been updated to change and adapt to the data created by the simulated timeline alteration. This is not your average holo novel. Once we run the program, you'll be able to interact with our best approximation of the new timeline. Interaction with the holodeck components will allow the program to generate a more in-depth solution and give us a better idea of what to expect. We have set this simulation on a Federation starship patrolling the Sol system, and you are the captain. If all goes as planned, we expect that almost everything in the system should be close to current reality.
Understood, I'll run the program. Right, computer, run scenario program alpha. Oh, what the devil? I thought we were patrolling the Sol system! What the devil? It looks like I've got a phase in this program. What the hell? Ensign, report! What the hell's going on here?
Captain, you're alive! We repelled the intruders on the bridge, but the ship has taken heavy damage, and a lot of the crew are injured.
What's the situation?
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time. So many people are hurt, and most of the systems are offline. The life support is on backups, and our resources are down to nothing, and...
Well, I need to find out what the hell's going on, but I do have to play out this program in a realistic manner. I'll help the wounded, but you need to help me. What happened?
The Dominion stopped firing at us when we lost weapons.
What?
Now they're focusing on Earth's defense grid, but it's only a matter of time before they return to finish us off.
The Dominion? What the hell? Right, I'll stabilize the crew and fight back. This isn't over. What the devil? The Dominion? The Dominion War was 1 year ago. the hell? Bloody hell, I can see a Jem'Hadar battle cruise on the view screen. I'll hazard a guess and say that this scenario is not one that we'll use. The helm station looks like it experienced a power surge, right. Stabilizing this cation.
Incoming hail!
Hail, right, this should be interesting. Well, surprisingly, even after a power surge, apparently the helm console is still online. I'm answering the hail.
USS Ajax. Sensors show your ship is completely defenseless, and I would prefer not to delay our arrival at Earth to deal with such a minor annoyance. Surrender now, and I will guarantee the safety of your crew.
Oh, I'm not even in danger, and this crew is holographic. We'll never surrender to you. Right, I got a bit of a picture from the crew reports. I'll check the main computer. Sounds like they've opened fire. Right, let's see. Warning, hull breaches on decks 4, 5, and 6. I don't care. Hull integrity, weapons offline. Oh, we can't actually fire back. Shields are offline. I assume we've got ablative armor if we're still alive. Life support, emergency backups, cool. Computer, load the Quadrant casualty report. Betazoid, status taken, estimated casualties 3 billion. That's a massive chunk in their population. Teller Prime, the Tellarite, status taken, estimated casualties 2.5 billion. Vulcan, status uninhabitable, estimated casualties 9.4 billion. Good God, we lost Vulcan, Teller Prime, Beta Z, and with over 10 billion casualties, this is definitely not a scenario we'll use. God, this is even worse than the war we're in. Right, I'll check the captain's personal log that I would have recorded earlier in the program, which of course I didn't, because it's a program. Captain's personal log, stardate 87319.0. We haven't seen the bulk of the enemy fleet in 3 days, but their scouts continue to harass us. Vulcan is lost. Andoria is in flames, Romulus, Teller Prime, Beta Z, Trill, ashes. If the Romulans had joined us, maybe this would have been different. The Klingons barely had enough ships left to patrol their home system. They weren't a threat anymore. We were offering friendship, but the Romulans refused us. And then the Dominion came and took everything. Well, that's bleak and depressing. Right, what I really need to know is any Iconian activity. Computer access sensors, scan for any Iconian vessels, or anything Iconian. Long-range sensors offline, no Iconian activity in the immediate area. Right, well, the ship is too damaged, but I assume that we're not going to use this timeline anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I'll download all the data I can. Downloading. Right, computer, I've seen enough. Shut this nightmare off. Right, I'll probably report to the team leader again, but that is Agent Philip Cray. I'll probably check in with him, see if he has any opinions on the situation.
Hello.
I assume you're here to protect the timeline, Ensign?
Anything involving temporal mechanics is complicated, but the short answer is yes. I am watching these simulations very closely, as are my counterparts from the Republic and the Klingon Empire. Even small changes to time can have large and lasting effects. On Earth, we've called this the butterfly effect. The metaphorical example is of a butterfly flapping its wings and starting a chain of events that lead to a hurricane on the other side of the planet.
Well, forgive me for asking, but isn't timeline alteration the sort of thing that the temporal division is supposed to stop?
Again, it is complicated. Suffice it to say that at this moment in time, our governments have all agreed that our options are limited. This might be our best chance to stop or delay the Iconians. But temporal investigations will intervene if we feel that the cure is more dangerous than the disease.
Of course. Hold on. That's Commander Jarrah. I did see a Felchen dreadnought in orbit. Perhaps it's the Lisette. Right, I'll check in with the team leader again. He'll probably send me off with a new simulation, seeing as that one is very much not the one we want. Right, I'm gonna give you a word of advice, Alpha Team Leader. Not that one.
From what we can piece together, the Klingon Empire was never unified by its conflicts against outsiders. and the great houses turned on one another instead. The Romulans took the chaos as an opportunity to attack. The Federation stepped in to help the Klingons, and the war between the three factions basically ripped the Quadrant apart. The Dominion then conquered all three weakened powers.
Well, actually, that sounds like a very entertaining horror novel. Unfortunately, very much not the solution we're looking for. Right, Alpha Team Leader has directed me to a researcher named Noi. I did see him before the battle, speaking with Captain Nog and in 7 of 9. I see him as one of the head researchers here. Greetings, I was told to speak to you. I'm Captain Blue Ninja of the Federation Starship Temeraire.
Another one of you Voyagers?
What?
I don't know how you can help, but very well. My team is working on scenarios that reduce the Iconian power base. We are attempting to do so by fixing a mistake that Janeway allowed to happen decades ago. We're going to stop the Vaadwaur from being rediscovered. We plan to do this by preventing Voyager from ever coming into contact with underspace. This will prevent them from finding Vaadwaur Prime, and 7 of 9 will never wake the Vaadwaur.
Well, I do have, some thoughts about this. A large chunk of my career was spent battling the Vaadwaur. It sounds like this scenario would drastically alter our timeline.
None of us are going to survive if we don't try to repair the damage you've already done.
What?
The goal is to cause a solar flare that will force Voyager to divert from the course it was on when it stumbled into underspace. If it safely passes without entering underspace, it can continue on its trip home and bypass the Vaadwaur entirely.
Well, by your pleasant manner, I'd say you should have been an ambassador by career. But it does sound like your solution will work.
The simulation is set for the USS Voyager, which is fitting since they caused the problem in the first place. Our projections show that even if the Vaadwaur never return, your people will still find a reason to stick your noses into our business. So, we're attempting to see how the elimination of the Vaadwaur will change the formation of the Delta Alliance. You will be a member of the diplomatic team.
Right, I'll run the program.
Don't mind Noi. I think he partially blames people from your quadrant for some of the Krenin's troubles. After all, if Voyager hadn't restored the Vaadwaur, they would have never been in a position to ally with the Iconians. But there is no reason to dwell on past hurts. We're trying to fix what we can here, and then learn to accept the rest. Noi funnels that passion to help his people into his work. Perhaps it will change everything.
Well, thank you for the clarification.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain Nog and Seven speak highly of you.
Well, I'm flattered, and, excuse me for asking, but I'm not sure I've ever met anyone from your species before.
My name is Claudia, and I am a Tutarian. We're from a region of the Delta Quadrant Voyager never visited, so we haven't had much contact with species from the Alpha and Beta Quadrants until now. However, my world has had close ties with the Krenim for several years. Now that they are actively pursuing temporal technology, I chose to join them and lend whatever assistance I can. I miss my home, but I've made a new one here. Meeting Noi has opened me up to a world beyond my own.
Computer, run program Iconian Scenario Beta. Alright, it looks like I'm on the briefing room of the USS Voyager. I see Ambassador Sugihara is here. I'll check in with him to begin with. The bridge is that way, if I remember correctly. Ambassador, sorry to bother you. May we speak?
This is an absolute disaster. I had thought that Admiral Tuvok was being pessimistic about the chance for success here. But now, I think he was right.
Well, alliance making isn't a quick process, I know from experience.
No, it's not. The hierarchy started setting these people against one another before Admiral Tuvok and his team could start to pull them together. The very fact that they all agreed to be in the same room is a minor miracle.
The hierarchy? Anyway, do you think you can bring them together into an Delta alliance?
Eventually. Between Vulcan logic, Klingon tenacity, and Romulan pragmatism, we'll convince everyone here that the threat is real, and an alliance is in their best interest. But it won't be easy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I see I have another argument to break up.
Good luck, Ambassador Sugihara. Right, he said something about the hierarchy. I'm familiar with them. They were part of our Delta Alliance. I'm not sure, but it sounds like they've made enemies of everyone else in this room. Or at least they've manipulated their governments into being against one another. Right, I'll check in with the Talaxians. They're generally quite pleasant. Greetings, I'm Captain Bloober Ninja of the USS... what was it? Swiftshire.
We've always tried to be good neighbors and treat other races with respect.
Are you here to preach about responsible waste management, too?
Right.
Unraveling this mess could take months, years.
I've never known Ambassador Sugihara to be so... exasperated. Right, it looks like the negotiations are over. Oh, bloody hell. Right, I'll just check on the computer. I'll see what other information I can get. Computer, access the Quadrant threat report.
The number of planets the hierarchy have taken outright has increased 20% over the past 6 months. A push for higher profits has prompted steady growth of hierarchy territory. Reports of abductions in areas near hierarchy space have increased by 77.2%. However, this data has not been confirmed by outside sources because few Delta Quadrant species are willing to share information with the Federation. Further investigation is needed.
Ambassador's log, stardate 87234.5. Our allies in the Kiana system have been invaded by hierarchy forces. The Kiana colony is a small farming community with no strategic value, so the attack simply doesn't make sense. According to one survivor we managed to find, the hierarchy were working with the Ilachi. The Ilachi took captives to an unknown location.
Let's see. Long-range sensors are detecting both Herald and Iconian readings. While they do not appear to be in active conflict with the Alliance forces, I'm seeing more ships than normal. There are both Herald and Iconian signals in hierarchy space. It appears the Heralds may be using that area as a staging ground for a coordinated attack with the hierarchy on high-value targets throughout the Delta Quadrant. Right, cross-checking with Voyager's logs shows a similar situation in the Alpha and Beta Quadrants. Bloody hell. Looks like the Iconians are just as much of a threat here as they are in our timeline. They just haven't attacked yet. Bloody hell. Well, that went well. Computer end program.
Damn, that was useless. The Iconians were so determined to have a hold here that they simply found another species to fit the bill. Maybe if you had been a better negotiator, you would have been able to unite those representatives against the hierarchy. Then, at least we would have had a chance. This scenario isn't as catastrophic as trying to remove the Iconians, but it's not exactly ideal either. We'll have to try something else.
You must excuse my husband's harsh demeanor. This has been a very trying time for the Krenim. Thank you for helping us get this far. We'll keep working.
Trust my wife to be the voice of reason. Perhaps I was too hard on you. I just want to be able to fix all of this. We can't turn back time, but we can change it. Please speak to Gamma Team. Captain Nog thinks very highly of their plan.
Thank you, Researcher Noi and Clouda. I'll speak to Gamma Team. Well, if Captain Nog thinks very highly of that plan, then it's probably the best one. Right. I've spoken with this researcher before the catastrophic battle at the Herald Sphere. Greetings.
Hello. We've been waiting for you. Our team is focusing on delaying tactics. What if Iconia had never been discovered? In 2365, Captain Donald Varley of the USS Yamato found a star chart on Denias 3 that revealed the location of Iconia. I want to redirect a meteor to impact the archaeological site on Denias 3 before Captain Varley begins his excavations. Iconia will remain a myth, and we will not attract the Iconians' attention as early as we did.
The USS Yamato, I believe that was one of the sister ships of the Enterprise D. Over 1,000 lives were lost on that vessel. Again, that is just a delay. Another gateway was found a few years later anyway.
True. But if you compare the changes in Iconian technology over the past 200,000 years with what the rest of us have done in the past 2 centuries, it's obvious that the Iconian culture has stagnated while we have advanced rapidly. Additionally, there are other factors in play that could trigger the alliances and sharing of technology that have come about because of the Iconian threat. It's a risk, but it's one that could pay off.
Right, I understand, and I can see why you're trying this on a holodeck first.
The program is set for Romulan space. Because the Hobus supernova was caused by direct Iconian interference, we expect Romulus to be intact in this new reality.
Oh.
As such, the Romulan Star Empire should once again be a major power in the Quadrant. Your role will be as an officer on a Romulan warbird.
The Star Empire? I mean, the Hobus supernova was basically the only reason that the Romulan Republic exists now. Restore the Romulan Star Empire? That sounds like a bad idea.
Yes, to call it a huge change would be an understatement. Please be aware that nothing will be done unless the Republic agrees this is the best possible solution. There is already a team here working on the possible restoration of Romulus, and Commander Jarak has been authorized to speak for the Republic if needed. The fact that our data shows delaying the Iconian arrival will also save Romulus is an interesting coincidence, but it does not mean we will accept the solution without looking at other options.
So that's why Commander Jarak is here. I understand. Right, I'll run the program. Well, I hope that the Republic is fine with this. I'm curious to see if it'll actually form without the Hobus supernova. The only reason it is possible is because the Star Empire was in such disarray that they were unable to crush it before it started. Right, computer, activate program, Iconian Scenario Gamma. A Romulan vessel. Apparently Commander Tamer is waiting for me. Commander Tamer, I think I've heard that name before at some point, I'm not sure. I think he was a Romulan officer at some point. Right, the person down there did direct me up here. If I recall on the Lasette, this is the place where a Falchion Dreadnought would have the Thaleron weapon core. Ah, there it is. Of course, it's not installed on the Lasette because, well, Thaleron weapons aren't exactly supported by the Alliance. Right. God, these are bright floor panels. Commander Tamer, I believe. I don't know, but you wanted to speak to me.
Ah, Sub-Commander. I'd like to test out some new security passcodes, if you would be so kind as to seal the doors and disable certain, equipment. We need to talk.
Equipment? I mean, he did gesture to something. Understood, Commander. Disabling equipment. The devil? Right. Sealing the doors? Doors have been sealed. Equipment, he gestured in this direction. Right, let's see. I wonder what this is. Oh. That is a Telshia listening device. Right, we don't want that. It's slightly disturbing that I know what that looks like from memory. But anyway. Speaks to the troubling past that the Federation has had with the Telshia. Commander, the device has been disabled and the doors are sealed.
Thank you for playing along, Sub-Commander. The Talshiar can't hear us now. I need to talk to you about Datan and the Separatists.
Ooh.
They've been located near the Dewa system. What we do next could change our future.
The Dewa system, one of the planets there became New Romulus, and Datan is a thing in this timeline. You're not asking if we should attack them, are you?
If I was, I wouldn't have needed you to lock the door. I
Right.
intend to put Lieutenant Silan in the brig and then take this ship and crew to join the Separatists. Are you with me?
Gaius? What? He's against the Romulan Republic in this timeline? That's a hell of a thing. We should probably check with him before if we're going to use this scenario. Bloody hell. What were you saying? Right, allying with, Separatists, Silan and the brig. If we do this, we'll probably be traitors to the Star Empire.
I know. I have tried to work within the system, but the system is broken and corrupt. Datan and his people are building something better. You and I both know it. The crew knows it. We will take this warbird to Datan, and we will finally be free.
This warbird? I wonder if this is the Lasette. It's certainly a Falchion Dreadnought. Commander, we do have to do what's best for the crew and our people, of course. If that means forming the Romulan Republic, then, well, that's an added bonus. Right. Bloody bright. Right, unsealing doors. Looks like we're locking Lieutenant Salan in the brig. I wonder if Lieutenant Salan is an XB in this timeline. Would be interesting to find out. Oh, right. Oh, I didn't recognize him. It doesn't look like he's an XB in this timeline. Completely unassimilated, and he apparently always had a bald head. Lieutenant Salan, I'm the sub-commander of this vessel.
Secret conversations between the commander and one of his senior officers? Very suspicious. Loyal citizens of the Romulan Star Empire have no need for locked doors.
Lieutenant, I'm going to have to ask you to accompany the security team to the brig.
Tamer, you are a fool, and you will be the death of everyone on this ship. Datan and his people are terrorists. If you join them, you will share their fate.
Lieutenant, shut up. You're under arrest. Please comply, and I swear, you won't be shot.
A destiny free from the tyranny of the Tal Shiar. If we leave, we will have a better, brighter future than what they would allow us. I know it is a step into the unknown, but it is a step we will take together. Throw off your chains. We will join our brothers and sisters in freedom.
You know, this timeline doesn't actually seem half bad. It's certainly the most promising of all of them. No Iconian war, and the Romulan Republic will eventually be formed by the sounds of it. Especially if commanders like Commander Tamer here are willing to defect to it. Fascinating. Right, computer, Quadrant status report, please. Noticed all ship commanders, Starfleet vessels have been assisting new Romulans in areas near the neutral zone. Imperial ships are being dispatched in a show of force. Any ships harboring or assisting the Separatists are to be fired upon. There are no exceptions. Ships in Group Gamma are being reassigned to patrols in the area targeted by the Borg. Contacts are regular, but vigilance is needed to eradicate the threat and protect our colony worlds, the Borg. So, I suppose the Borg are still a threat in this timeline and attacking the Star Empire. Right, computer, access the commander's personal log if it's available. I mean, it's a holo program, they would make it available, wouldn't they? Oh, no audio. Commander's personal log, triple encryption, protocols 8 to 6. Doesn't really work in a holo program. Guys is becoming suspicious. I've been speaking to members of the senior staff, and most are in favor of making a run for the flotilla and joining Datan. But I remain cautious. They're doing the right thing, but the Borg are nipping at our heels, and every ship the fleet loses might be one needed to protect Romulus in its hour of need. But what is left there to protect? Fascinating. And last but not least, computer, scan for Iconian activity and, search the computer data logs for keyword Iconian. Long-range sensors show no Herald or Iconian signatures, and there are no references to Heralds in the ship's database. The only reference to the Iconians are in the historical files, and most refer to the Iconians as a myth. There are heightened levels of Borg activity throughout the Beta Quadrant, and multiple colony worlds have been assimilated. The Romulan fleets are on high alert, but have not been able to make major inroads against the Collective. Well, the Borg aside, this does seem like the most promising scenario. Downloading all data here. Right, computer end program.
That is the most promising simulation yet. It appears there was some merit to our hypothesis that the Iconians advanced their plans due to early contact.
But it's not perfect by any means.
The data in this simulation does show higher Borg activity than we're currently seeing, but there are no signs of Herald, Iconian, or Solanae presence at all. And while the Romulan Star Empire is restored to their former power, there is a democratic Romulan group opposing the Tal Shiar. And more importantly, Romulus is intact. This is the result many of our Romulan researchers have been trying to bring about.
But this isn't our reality. We'll be significantly altering everything we know.
The political calculus of the Quadrant will change, but the data supports what you saw on the holodeck. No Iconians. We have solid projections. The only suggestion I have now is that you consider it in conjunction with Captain Nog and the Republic representatives here.
I will of course discuss it with them, but I'm not making any promises. Well, it sounds like the development of the Romulan Republic will be significantly delayed, but I think that, all things considered, that might be a risk they'll be willing to take.
This last test has the most promising results I've seen, and saving the Romulan homeworld is an added bonus. We're not going to have a lot of shots at this. I've been looking at Annorax's work, and I think it's too easy to get into a temporal loop where you try again and again for a specific result, and time starts fighting back. I'm inclined to say this is our best chance. But this will have a huge impact on the reality we know, especially your people, Commander Jirok. I won't give my authorization without hearing from everyone.
Well, we can't move forward without considering the effect on the Republic. Commander Jirok, what are your thoughts?
This is difficult. It would change everything for us. We'd have our home back, but the Republic, everything we've built, it would all be gone. But there's still hope. Even in this other reality, Datan has led many Romulans away from Sela and her Tal Shiar thugs.
Well, this solution does impact the Republic most of all.
The simulation specifically mentioned Datan and a separatist movement. Commander Tamer makes the choice to join Datan, the same choice he made after the homeworld was lost. With Romulus, we could have numbers. More people who have had enough of the Tal Shiar's oppression could join us. Maybe millions more. If Datan is able to get a movement going, even at the height of the Empire's power, I have to believe that change is possible.
Well, if the Romulan Tal Shiar never made contact with the Iconians, then I doubt that they would have allied with the Alachi. We may not even have the first battle of New Romulus in this timeline, and if the Iconians aren't there, we wouldn't have the second either. What do you think we should do, Commander?
Make the incursion. The lives we save will be worth the work we'll have to do to reform the Republic. The Tal Shiar wasn't able to stop us the first time. They won't stop us again.
Well, if the Romulan Republic thinks it's worth the risk, then, well, I would agree. I think we should try it. Zarva reports that they've been informed that the Lisette and the Krenim vessel will be traveling with us, the Temere, to the site of the temporal incursion. She says the Krenim vessel has the weapon on board, and the Lisette will provide additional security and manpower if needed. Understood, Commander. Anything else? Zarva reports that all three vessels will be temporarily shielded to protect us from changes in the timeline. As long as that shielding holds, we'll be able to observe the changes and even interact with them, but we will not be part of the new timeline. She says Captain Nog says that the temporal shield generators can be damaged and will need to be careful. Zarva says that they can beam me up to the Temere as soon as we're ready. Well, in that case, Temere 1 to beam up, energize and prepare for immediate departure.
Target acquired and locked. Activating weapon. Incursion complete.
It will be good to see the world of my birth again. Elements? Is that Romulus? It's been completely assimilated.
Yes, I think we have a problem.
No. We expected to see some Borg activity, but this can't be right.
What the hell happened?
I agree that this is unexpected, Commander, but we knew there would be anomalies. We need more information. Let's find out where the simulation might have gone wrong.
Well, Captain, the time ship is very important. I think you should stay at the edge of the system. Commander Jirok and I will move in for sensor sweeps. The last thing we need is for the Borg assimilating the Krenim's weapon.
The whole system can't be assimilated, can it? That is a lot of Borg.
Agreed. Right, Helm, take us in slightly. Let's execute a census sweep. There's the Lisette behind us. At least we've got reinforcements if the Borg attack. Good God, I hope they don't damage our temporal shielding. Right. Increase to full impulse. Right, full stop.
According to these scans, the planet has been completely assimilated. I'm not detecting any non-Borg life signs. This is bad. Really, really bad. We need to fix this. Borg ships decloaking. Red alert!
Oh, wonderful. The Borg have cloaks now. Red alert, shields up. All engines full astern.
First the Klingons, now the Borg. Does everyone steal cloaking technology from us?
Target the nearest sphere and open fire. All weapons, fire. Bloody hell, that sphere's hull integrity is down to 37%. One of their side-facing shields is down to 10%. Focus fire. Target a tachyon beam. Fire a spread of quantum torpedoes. Oh, bloody hell. Auxiliary power to shields. Target that probe. Right, the probe's been destroyed. The Lisette dealt with the last sphere. Oh, never mind, there's another probe. Target torpedoes. And fire.
Borg reinforcements on an intercept course.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. Evasive pattern Delta 2. Oh, bloody hell, it's a cube. Increase the distance we don't get stuck in a tractor beam. Let's get them in a tractor beam. Aft weapons. Fire! Hard about! Right, the starboard nacelle is having some problems and the starboard impulse engine is on fire, but the systems are dealing with it. Right! Fire a spread of torpedoes! Bloody hell, there's plasma leaks all over the hull. Starboard weapons, belay that order, target that probe. Aft weapons, open fire! Fire! Right, that probe's nearly destroyed. Its hull integrity is down to 18%. Target the next. Open fire! Tactical reports that we've got a tricobalt spread of torpedoes ready. Let's save it for a cube. Target that probe with all weapons. Fire! Looks like the Lisette's tractor mines got it in... right, that probe has been destroyed. Bloody hell, looks like the Lisette's got some plasma leaks, but nothing that they can't handle.
We need more information before we can fix this. I'll keep the Krenim ship well out of Borg sensor range while you go in and find out what happened. Hurry. More Borg will be arriving soon.
Captain, not to poke holes in your plan or anything, but once we beam off the ship and out of the temporal shielding, won't we shift into this timeline?
I've modified some personal shield generators to shield you temporally as well. I'm transporting them over now. Hurry. The temporal shielding drains a lot of power. You won't have much time down there before you're unprotected. If that happens, this will be your new reality.
Ah, that sounds comforting. Right, we'll beam down and get the data. Bloody hell, this is madness. Zarva reports that the temporal shields are here for the away team, and apparently the researcher Claudia says that she's concerned about the weapon. We probably only have one more shot from it before the capacitors burn out. Right, let's get down to Transporter Room 1. Coles, Tavral, Nessis, and Jerez with me. Flores, you have the bridge.
We need more data to plot a possible solution. With any luck, the Borg will have what we need. Maybe. Our focus is on restoration. There is a computer node in this area of the Unimatrix that should have what we need. Find the node and download all the data you can from the point where we made our incursion. That should help us find out how to fix this.
Understood, Captain. We'll find that data.
I'm going to join you. I know this place. Or at least I knew this place. Before we lost the homeworld, it was a Tal Shiar complex. Most of the secrets of our empire were stored here. I thought I was getting my home back, but now the Borg have taken it all away. This is like losing Romulus all over again.
We'll do what we can to help, Commander.
The controls ahead of us will unlock the bulkheads.
Understood, Commander. Looks like there's some Borgs regenerating here. Hopefully they don't see us as a threat and they don't wake up. As Captain Nog said, we have to get that data. Our timeline is relying on it.
The whole planet. All our people.
Oh Christ, stand to! Open fire! Looks like they did see us as a threat. This is going well. Luckily we equipped the away team with frequency remodulators in case we need them. Right, looks like that other Borg over there woke up as well, but one of the away team members dealt with it. Right, overriding door controls. Right, these doors should be open now. Right, with me, trying not to draw too much attention. They already know we're here because they've got a bloody hive mind, but...
I can't believe we were so wrong.
I mean, like I said to Captain Nog and the researcher, holodecks are not perfect. Bloody hell. This is not good. Oh, right, I was about to say keep your weapons down. Keep them up now. Open fire! Bloody hell. Right, looks like they haven't adapted yet, thank God. But they will at any moment.
Cover me. I'll override the door controls.
Understood, Commander. With me, form a defensive line around Commander Turok. Looks like Colas threw a smoke grenade. Oh, fire on that Borg! Bloody hell, they've adapted, remodulating. Bloody hell. Oh, bloody hell, they're behind us. Bloody hell. Oh, Christ, this is not a good situation. They've adapted again. Die, you Borg zombie things. Fire. Oh, that one's adapted as well. Alright, grenade, I'm remodulating once again. Looks like Jerez is as well. Fire! Oh, Christ. Don't let them touch you! Bloody hell, hand-to-hand combat with the Borg. Right, I have to remodulate again. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, come...
Got it.
Oh. Right, I was about to tell the commander to work quickly. Right, with me. Oh,
we have to find a way to make this right.
Our timeline depends on it. Unless you want to spend the rest of your life on your temporarily shielded ship. Right. Oh, Christ, open fire! They've adapted. Let's throw a plasma grenade. Luckily, our personal shields protect us from it, or we wouldn't be able to walk through it. We'd be incinerated. Right, with me.
Resistance is futile.
Ah, shut up. Right, with me.
There. That's the access node console we need.
Accessing knowledge node. It's curious that they still have Romulan consoles here. That's interesting.
Locked. We'll have to circumvent their security measures.
Oh,
wait!
Bloody hell!
Incoming Borg!
I noticed that, Commander. Open fire! Grenade! Oh, bloody hell. There's a Borg right here. Assimilated Tal Shiar. Oh, Christ. I have to remodulate. Fire! Right. Bloody hell. They really do know that we're here. Right, let's circumvent the lock. We'll have to access, according to my scans, 3 consoles. First one's over there. Right. Accessing. Oh, Christ, cover me. Oh.
This was Romulan technology once, but it's been completely assimilated.
Somewhat unsurprising. Well, it's actually surprising that there's still Romulan consoles. Anyway, right, accessing the next console. Oh, Christ. A little assistance. Right, that's the next console. Let's get to the next one. With me. Right, I have no doubt that more Borg will be beaming in. Cover me, please. Oh, right, fire! They've adapted. Right, I'm circumventing their Borg security.
When we lost the homeworld, I thought that was the worst thing that could happen to us. Hakiv?
What?
You will become one with the Borg.
Colonel Hakiv!
Resistance is futile.
Oh, God. Right, weapons ready, let's deal with Colonel Hakiv. Bloody hell. Right, vaporized Colonel Hakiv. Got rid of him for the second time in my life. I can't say I enjoyed either one. Right. The security should be down. I'm downloading the data we need. Drone 35 regeneration cycle. It's a lot of information that doesn't really matter. Computer, break down records by year and provide a summary of events for Romulus system only. Display results with oldest entries first. Right, filtering temporal records. Stardate 68589. That's a long while ago.
It looks like the main invasion of Romulan space occurred about 20 years ago. Something happened in the Delta Quadrant. The Borg assimilated something that greatly improved their technology. They adapted, evolved, and my people, they didn't have a chance. Maybe it's our fate to lose Romulus.
Well, Commander, all we can do now is to try to restore the previous timeline. Maybe this data will help. Right, blibbering into Temerae, we've got the data we need. 6 to beam up, energize, now!
Let's get out of here. There are more than 20 Borg ships on an intercept course.
Understood, Captain. Helm set a course for the Annorax. Full impulse.
More Borg on the way.
Bloody hell, maximum impulse.
Borg decloaking.
Oh, Christ. I don't see them yet. Oh, there they are. Off to port. All weapons. Fire. Bloody hell. Evasive pattern Alpha 2. Tractor beam. Target all weapons on that Borg ship. Fire. Bloody hell, auxiliary power to shields, evasive pattern Alpha 2. Bloody hell, we're taking a beating. We're surrounded by Borg vessels and we were in a tractor beam for a time, but we've escaped it. Aft weapons, fire!
Resist this.
Hard about. Target that probe, fire all weapons. Fire! Bloody hell. Right. Target that probe. Destroy it.
Transmit the data. Hurry. We're under attack.
Captain?
We're losing power. Send the data now before we lose temporal shielding.
Understood, Captain. Tyrell, send the data over immediately.
Data received.
I'm running the numbers now. If we target the Borg transwarp network, the Borg may never be able to reach London.
It is a great risk. The Borg have a great deal of influence on the timeline, and there is no time to run simulations.
Do we have a choice?
We do not. Targeting the transwarp network.
Firing the weapon! Now!
The Borg are gone. But so is Romulus.
Romulus isn't the only thing we lost. Temporal shielding is failing.
What happened?
The Borg did too much damage to the generators. If we lose the temporal shielding, we'll all reintegrate with the timeline.
Has anything else changed?
Checking? No. The Tutarians. They're gone.
How?
I see the problem. 20 years ago, your people tried to replicate the work of the Solanae to protect themselves from the Borg. They failed.
Temporal shield is at 8%.
No, I need to restabilize the shields.
I'm downloading my personal files into the shielded core. You'll have all my research notes and everything we've recorded from this mission.
You're giving up? When the shield fails, if the Tutarians were lost in the past, then you'll be lost too.
Temporal shield is losing integrity.
Is there anything we can do?
No, we all knew the risks. I love...
Zarva reports that there's been a development. She says Captain Nog, Commander Jarok, and the Krenim researchers are waiting for me in the conference room to go over their findings. I mean, well, that sounds like what I plan to do here. I'll meet them there. Wow, there's quite a crowd in here. What the devil's going on? I'll check in with Captain Nog. Captain, I thought I was told to report here to assist you. What the hell's going on here?
We found a temporally shielded computer core, and it shows 2 uses of the Krenim weapon. But as far as I know, the Iconians are still out there. We changed the timeline, but we didn't fix our most important problem.
Well, if we used it already, well, what changes were recorded?
We won't be sure until we finish analyzing the data, but the Krenim weapon was used twice. I remember being on the bridge of the Krenim ship and seeing a readout with a far lower power reserve than had just been there a moment before. I'm sure you had a similar situation.
Well, yes, actually, and my chief engineer had no explanation. But my second officer theorized that we had passed near an anomaly on our warp here that was too small to create turbulence, but enough to increase the strain on our engines, so we dismissed it.
As to the greater differences, we'll know more soon. I only hope the ripples from what we did today don't start a tsunami.
Agreed.
We haven't dug that far into the data yet, and it will take some in-depth investigation to catalog all of the changes. Noi is going to lead the group taking care of that. I will say it is, odd to find personal logs I don't remember making.
I imagine that would be strange.
Very. But from what we've already seen, it appears the reason the weapon was fired twice was because we had to try to correct a change we made. Technology like this seems so simple, but even the smallest change can make more trouble than it solves. We have to be more cautious. Far more cautious than we've already been, I suppose. The next mistake might not be fixable. Time alteration might not be the answer. There are some problems that can't be solved with a weapon. But time travel... Look, whatever happens, it was good working with you. I hope we have the chance to do so in the future.
It is good working with you as well, Captain, even if I don't really remember it.
We've put so much hope into using the Krenim technology to solve our problems. Perhaps I was caught up in the possibilities and blind to the potential for disaster. We tried and we failed. But this isn't the end. We'll keep looking at the simulations as well as any other option open to us. I have to have faith that we will find a way to defeat the Iconians.
I have a lot of information to analyze. The shielded core appears to have made it through the process intact, and will give us a wealth of data on the timeline and how the changes have affected it. Clearly, you made a mistake somewhere. I still feel this is the best technology available to us, but we will need minds sufficient to the task to operate it.
Perhaps, but after what happened, personally I think we should look for another course of action. I'm not sure what we could do, but, well, anything's better than this. I've received a message from Ensign Philip Cray. Right, I'll meet him in the development lab.
This is the time we have pinpointed in your timeline, sir. This is when you go back and give yourself this. You'll know what to say. You've already heard yourself say it. It doesn't matter if it's exactly right. The time stream will work itself out. Just make sure you give yourself this. It's our best hope for the future of the galaxy. You'll return to this exact point in time as soon as you have done what you need to do. The galaxy still needs you. Ready? Looks like you made it back in one piece. We generally abhor predestination paradoxes like this, but it seems like this one was important enough to allow to happen. So we'll make an exception. This time.